Well, hello, sweet friends. Let me turn this phone over a little bit. Give me 1 second. Well, hello there, everybody. I'm back again, and as I promised, I'm going to make meatloaf and mashed potatoes today. I have a couple other things too, so we got to get started. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kathy. I always wanted to do this, so I have the opportunity, so we're going to give it a try. This is about a month now. We took a couple weeks off because I had some dental work done, but we're back. Holly asked me to make meatloaf, one of my friends, Holly, so we're going to make a meatloaf today. So the first thing we're going to make is a meatloaf. Then I have to make something for tomorrow because I work on Sundays, so I have to make something for us for supper. So I'm going to make a creamy French onion chicken with veggies. Then we're going to try something new. I got these apple crisps somebody gave me. These rice cakes. I like rice cakes. I'm not really big on the apple ones. So we're going to try to make it into a little fun dessert. So I'm going to try apple rice cake crisp. And then I'm going to make some brown gravy. And we're going to do some brown rice and mushrooms and onions for the chicken. And I am going to make the mashed potatoes for the supper today. So let's get started. First of all, let me wash my hands. Get this all out of the oven, the sink here. I did wash my hands before, but I'll get it done again so that way I have these mushrooms soaking so we can, I had them soaking so if there's any dirt or anything on them, I can get it off. All right, so we're going to start with our meatloaf. I have 2.5 pounds of hamburger. One of them's organic and the other one's just a regular 80-20. So we're going to put that into here. Let me get another knife. I'm going to use that one to cut mine. Let's get the hamburger put in. So for the meatloaf, I'm going to use 2.5 pounds of meatloaf. As I said, I'm going to use some crushed Cheez-Its. I'm going to put some Cheez-Its in it today. I'm going to make this a little bit different. I'm going to use 3 eggs. I will be using a cup of milk. I might throw some heavy cream in there instead of all milk, if I can get this out. I'm going to use some garlic powder, a tablespoon or so. I'm going to use some onion. I'm going to chop that onion up. And we're going to use some smoked paprika. And I think today I'm going to put a little bit of cheese in it, too, I think. So I have the cheese already. I already grated the cheese. So we'll see if I want to put it in there or not. And then for the topping, I think I'm going to use some barbecue sauce, some brown sugar, and some mustard. Hey, Steve, can you come get this brown sugar down? Please. I forgot all about it. All righty. Wait till he gets that brown sugar down. So I have 2.5 pounds of hamburger, chopped beef, whatever you want to call it. One of them's organic, one of them's not. One of them's just a 20-20 mix, that's fine. In this, I'm going to put some, I'm going to use my little food processor here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
There you go.
I appreciate it. Sorry about that. I can't reach the whole way up there. I'm going to put my onion in here real quick. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my Cheez-Its first, because I don't want them to get all... I just use my mini processor for all this. It just makes it easier. So... Hey, hand me that tablet over there. My little tablet. The black thing. The one I used down there at the end.
Oh, this? Oh.
Please. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, let me get my tablet on a while. I forgot all about that. I'm not used to doing all this by myself, so we'll get it. I don't want to put it in everybody's way. Alrighty, let's go over here. Oh, sure. Like I said, I'm just learning all this, so you're going to have to bear with me. Okay. All right. Alrighty. Now let me wash my hands again real quick. Alrighty. Okay, somebody wants to know what we're making. We're going to make a couple of different things again. I'm making meatloaf. One of my friends wants me to make a meatloaf, so I'm going to make a meatloaf. I'm going to mix it up a little bit and put some Cheez-Its in it instead of like breadcrumbs or anything. Then we're going to make, somebody gave me a whole bunch of veggies, so I came up with a chicken theme that I can put some veggies in and some cream cheese and some French onion chip dip, some dip for French onion. We're going to do that. I'm going to be making homemade mashed potatoes. I will be making some brown gravy by scratch. And then they gave me some apple cinnamon rice cakes. I like rice cakes. I'm not big on the apple cinnamon. So I'm going to do a little twist on a little, like, it's almost like going to be like an apple crisp, but I'm going to use rice cakes for it. So we're going to see how it turns out. I don't know if it'll turn out, but we're going to try it. So let me ground up these Cheez-Its real quick here. Like I said, I have all these Cheez-Its I bought for something else, and we really don't eat them plain like this. So I thought I'd grind them up and put them in this. See how it works out. I'm sure it'll be fine. That's the binder. Probably gonna need about 2 cups of this. That's what I'm figuring at least. Let me get my measuring cup. I write everything down and then I put it in my computer so the guy that helps me out with all this, he can see it that way when he goes to do whatever he needs to do. He's working today, so I did it the other day by myself, so we're going to try it again. You know, like I said, I just started doing this, but I do love to cook. So I'm partially retired. I still do work 3 days a week. I want to make sure I have enough of these because I want to put my onion in here then for this. So, but I want to do these up first because I don't want it all. I'm going to do one more thing of it, I think. I'd rather have too much than not enough. Okay. And for the people that watch me and the people that have been commenting to me, thank you very much for the confidence. Like I said, it's something I've always wanted to do, and I had an opportunity to do it, so I thought, why not? All right, that should be enough. All right, So now I'm going to do my onion in here. Let me move this out the way. Sometimes I try to rush too much, I think. So I just got to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to preheat my oven at 375 while I'm at it. I got to get this meatloaf in. This takes about an hour. So that's why I have all this other stuff to do also. No, okay. I wanted to make sure I didn't have anything in there. Okay, so now I'm going to put my onion in here to do that up. Like I said, I use this mini food processor. I don't like to get my big one out unless I'm going to do a lot of something. So I'm glad I've got this mini food processor. That was the best thing I ever did. So hold on a second. Let me make sure that's clipped in there. I like onion, so I do like onion. So I put onion in it. Let me get this out of here. But I am going to do it up fine. So that way I don't have big onion chunks in it. All right. One more. Let me do this other little piece. I had, for the other stuff that we're going to make, I had already prepped up I prepped up my vegetables because I had to peel the carrots. Like I said, somebody gave me a bunch of vegetables. So I wanted to wash everything up and get everything ready. So, and here we go. If I can get this to turn on. Alrighty. I'm going to stick that in there. I don't want to cut myself. So here's the onion. And there's the hamburger. Then I got to get 3 eggs. Sit this in here. And I'm going to set it over here. I'm going to have potatoes to put in there then. Let me get the eggs out. So I'm going to put 3 eggs in here. There's the 3 eggs. I'm just going to use a little bit of Chicago Street. I have some of this in here. So I'm going to use a little bit of this in here. Put some flavoring in it. And then I'm going to put some salt and pepper in it. Okay, and then I'm going to use about a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I keep all my measuring spoons in here so I don't lose them. Just makes it more convenient. There's a teaspoon. There's the smoked paprika. You don't have to put the smoked paprika in if you don't want. I just think it gives it a little bit of a flavor. Okay, so now I'm going to have to mix all that together. I'm going to put some of this in it for now, just a little bit. Let me get a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I'm just gonna put about a tablespoon or so in, like that. Alrighty, I'm gonna start mixing this up before I add these. And I do think I will put some cheese in it, which will help bind it up too. Like I said, I shredded my cheese earlier, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of that in it right at the get-go. So when I start touching this hamburger, I'm gonna put my hand in this bag. Okay, let's try that for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 little loaf pans, because I noticed before that if you use one big, this is 2.5 pounds, so if you use one big pan and put it in, it seems to get drier. Plus it takes a little bit longer. If I use the 2 little loaf pans, it seems to stay juicier and it doesn't take as long to get done. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me start putting these in. Like I said, these are Cheez-Its that I had, so I just grounded them up to make a base. I don't want to make it too dry, thick, but I don't want it all wet either. I just want it that it's not all wet. And then I'll spray those pans. Just a little bit more of the Cheez-Its, I think. That should be good. So, I was telling the people on Thursday, I work 3 days a week, which is Sunday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So those days I won't do it. I will try to do something the other days. There you go. See? I just want to show you. It's not all wet. Let me wash my hands off. I will try to do something the other days. While this is in the oven, I just take the stand here, so I try to make something else that it can all try to get done about the same time. That doesn't have a lot of cheese in it, but that's okay. I don't think I want to put a lot of cheese in it. Let me put that over there. All right. So now I have these 2 little loaf pans. Because I didn't get any, I forgot to get some. I would have got some throwaway loaf pans, but I forgot. So I'll just use these. So I'm going to spray them. And then I'm going to try to even this out. This one's a little bit bigger than the other one. So the reason I like the loaf pans too is because it's easier to make the loaf in the loaf pans. I mean, you can do it the other way. Let me get some in the other one and then we'll for the salt topping, when this is all done and I go to put a topping on it, for the topping I'm going to use a little bit of barbecue sauce today and some brown sugar. Instead of ketchup, I'm going to do some barbecue sauce. Some brown sugar and some, I'm going to do some mustard in it too. I think that's what I'm going to do today. So, here they are in the loaf pan. The only thing with these loaf pans is I have to be careful because they're not regular loaf pans. So, but they're easier to get out too, so I don't use these very often. See, they're in there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them on a sheet pan inside the oven. Just so when I go to pull them out, because these are those ones that expand. It's almost at 375. It'll only be another minute. So I'm going to put that in a while. All right, so there's the meatloaf. Now, we're going to go on to making this concoction that I made up. I write all this out and I put it on my computer so the guy that helps me, he can go in there and see what I'm doing. It's So when he puts the recipes up, he has them. So on this one, I decided you can use chicken breast, but I'm going to use chicken thighs today. I just like chicken thighs better, somewhat. Well, they get more juicier, and actually my husband likes them better. Steve likes them better than chicken breast, so. All right. Let me get this open. And I'm going to put them in here so I can rinse them just a hair. I'm just going to put them in here and rinse them off. Alrighty. Let me get my pan here. I'm going to spray this a little bit too. Now this one I just kind of make. I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff together just because I have all this stuff to use up and I didn't know what to do with it. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take my chicken breasts first and put them in here. Like so. Just like that. Let me get this out of here first. I don't want that all over my floor. Okay, now let me wash out my hands again. One of my friends never seen it before, so she watched the other day and she told me if I need her to do dishes, she'll come over and do dishes. I thought that was kind of cute. So I have the chicken breast in here. I'm just going to take a little bit of olive oil and put on it. I'm going to take a little, I'm not going to use any salt, I don't think, because I have salt in this stuff. I'm not a big salt person, so I'm going to hold off on the salt for now. I might do maybe a little splash. Let me see here. Do like that. And then I think I'm going to use a real little bit of this cowboy butter that I have from Kinder's. I don't know, I just like this stuff. I'm going to use a little bit of Kinder's cowboy butter. Like I said, I'm just making this up as I go sometimes. And since it's chicken, I think I'm going to put a little bit of this Kinder's poultry seasoning on here. Just a tad, not a lot. There you go. Alrighty. Now, to that, I'm going to add these green beans, and these are already washed. These are washed and ready to use because you can put the whole bag in the microwave, which I'm not going to do. But I'm going to put that around it. I don't like this little pan. Give me 1 second. Let's try this. That's not going to fit all that. You know, at first I thought it wasn't going to, then I thought, well, maybe it will, but I don't want it coming out all over my oven, so I'd rather use the big one. I buy these throwaway pans in bulk. So, let's get these in here. That way I can get the vegetables around it because we're going to make a little bit of a sauce on it. So, and I want to put the sauce on the chicken because it'll spread out onto the veggies. All right, let's try it this way. Let's get them green beans in there like so. Let me wash my hands again real quick. I'm going to put some onion in here. You know what? I'll just put it right in. No, I won't. I'll just, let me get a plate. I'm going to take an onion and use this mandolin because I really want the onion kind of thin. I don't want really big layers of onion. So that'll probably be in there till about, I'll check it about, the meatloaf I'll check about, I put it in at 3:30, so I'll check it about 4:15, and then we'll probably put the topping on it. I love onion, so, and I think it flavors everything so good. But if you don't like onion, you don't have to put it in there. I just so happen to like onion. And then I'm going to put some carrots in there, and I'm going to slice them real thin so they get done. Let's get that in there like that. Okay. I have some tomatoes that I'm going to cut in half and just throw them in there that they gave me. These are those cherry tomatoes. So I thought it might give it a little good pop, you know, when they heat up. I'm not big on carrots. I like carrots, I just don't like them cooked. But Steve likes them, so we're going to do it like that. I just thought these tomatoes would be okay like this because the other night when they gave me this stuff, I thought, what am I going to do with all this? And I had already washed all this stuff in this little container here. I already got all that washed up. All right, that's all for the carrots. I mean, the tomatoes. Couldn't put that over there. I don't want to cut myself. And then I'm going to put some thinly sliced carrots in here. I don't know how many yet. I did clean up 3 carrots. See, they're pretty thin. I want them as thin as I can get them so they get done. Maybe this mandolin ain't the best thing to use for these carrots, I'm thinking. All right. Let me do it that way. Put some of them in there. I think I'll get another carrot too. I do like it though, because if I use this, it's more uniform than if I don't. And actually I can go down pretty far with the carrot. All right. There's another one. I don't want to cover all my chicken because I want to put that sauce on there. Oh, what the heck, I have one more, I might as well use it. So, I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Like I told people before, this keeps my mind occupied doing this. I lost a son to cancer years ago, and I just need something to occupy my mind sometimes. So this just keeps my mind occupied. Okay, so there's that. I'm trying not to put stuff in my sink because I dropped some carrots on the floor. Because I have to rinse my potatoes in there, so I'm trying to leave everything out of my sink. When my potatoes are done, they have to go inside of here. So, okay, I'm gonna get ready to make this sauce now for the chicken. So let me get a small bowl here. I think I'll just use this one. Now I know why she said she'd come over and help do dishes. Oh, Lord. All right. I'm going to put a little olive oil on that vegetables. I'm going to take... Oh, I have that tomato. Okay, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to take some mushroom and put in here yet, but let me get this started. These are rinsed, so I like mushrooms. So I'm just going to put them around there too. I got a lot of stuff in this thing. Okay. And I'm going to make a brown rice to go with this then. And I think I'm going to put some onions in that also. So I think that I'm figuring about 4 ounces of this cream cheese. It's chives and onion cream cheese that I got. And I'm thinking maybe about a cup of the French dip. So let me get a spoon. Let me get this one. Okay, about 4 ounces of this, give or take. I mean, we don't have to be exact. About like that, I would say. Okay. And then I need about a cup of this. I might use pretty much all of this, I'm thinking. Yeah, I am going to use all of it. I'm just going to use all of this and be done with it. Let me use all of this. Alrighty. So there's that. Then I'm going to take a little bit of, I got some chives, some freeze-dried chives. I'm going to put a couple of them in there. I'm going to take just a little bit of heavy cream and stick in this because I want to put a little bit of cheese in here. So I think I'll put some heavy cream in here. Not much, just a tad. Just to loosen it up a little bit so when I put that cheese in, it's not quite so thick. Like I said, I'm just making this up because I have all this vegetables to use up, and I don't know how else to use them, so. Plus, I try to eat healthy whenever I can. And I love chicken. Chicken's one of my favorites. I'm going to put this cheese in there. I just grated this cheese up. It's a mozzarella cheese. I thought that would probably go good with it. So here's the sauce I'm going to put on top. And my plan is that it'll spread out over everything. But I think I'm just going to dab it around the whole thing. Maybe dab it in the outside and then it'll come to the inside. I'll have enough to go in there too. Because I like to make sure the chicken has some on it. I'm sure it'll melt down in there also. Like I said, this is a made-up thing here, so Only God knows what this is going to do. Alrighty. So let's get this in the oven. I figured that should probably go in the oven for, give or take, I don't know, 35 to 40 minutes maybe. And I'm just going to put it in on 375 with the others. So I am going to cover it. This I am going to cover with some aluminum foil. She gave me some green onion too. I don't quite know what I'm going to do with those, but we'll figure it out. Alrighty, let's get this in there. Alright, there's that one. That's in the oven. Let me put this stuff back in the fridge so it doesn't spoil. I need to get a stick of butter out from my, let me put this butter in my mixer so it, for my potatoes. So it's not so hard when it's time to, I'll pull it out then when it's time to make them. Okay, so now that's done. Now I'm going to try this apple crisp thing. I wrote it down, but let me throw this back in here. I don't really need that. I wrote it down, but we're going to try it. So I'm going to take this apple crisp, and I'm going to take these apples that I already peeled. Let me get a... I am going to take them. I am going to take the apples and I am going to I want that for my rice. I have another one in here. I am going to saute these apples for about 5 minutes, just enough that I can get them halfway done. Let me get another. So I'm going to take the apples, I am going to dice them up. And I figured what we do is then we put some brown sugar in them. I have some applesauce in there that I'll add to them. I'm going to try to do like a, almost like an apple crisp, I guess you could say. I'm going to put some butter on these. Get more butter out. Okay. Let me put a little bit of butter in there. This is going to be healthier than nothing, but with the butter in, it's not going to be all that healthy, but it's all good. I just don't like to waste food. I really don't. All right. And if I can make something out of it, it's getting made. So that'll take care of these apples then. I'm going to saute these about 5 minutes maybe, because I'm going to put it in the oven. So they'll get done in about a half an hour. I thought I'd put it in the oven for. So they'll also get the rest of the way done in the oven. Like I said, this is a hit and miss here. So, it's like making 2 meals and a dessert is what it reminds you of. So, alrighty, there's that. I'm going to put a pinch of nutmeg in this. Just a pinch. About like that. And I'm going to put cinnamon in it. About like that. I'm going to let that saute a little bit. And then put some brown sugar in it. I'm going to take these and I'm going to crush them up somewhat. I'm going to lay some down in the bottom of that. And hopefully lay the rest down in the top. I can smell the apple in these. These are apple cinnamon rice cakes. I love rice cakes. I'm just, like I said, I'm not big on the apple ones. Not to eat them like that. So. But somebody gave them to me, so I don't want to be disrespectful. You know what? I think I'll put these on the top. I think I'll put the apple on the bottom, and I'll stick that on the top. That makes more sense. So let me work on this. Like I said, I don't need these all the way down, just a little bit. And then I can get my potatoes on. I'm going to melt some butter too, I think, to put in with these. That sounds pretty good. To make it like a crumble maybe, with some apples underneath of it. That actually sounds really good. I just need a little doodaddy thingy jiggy. I don't know, maybe 3 tablespoons. Let's try that. We'll try 3 tablespoons in there. I'll put this little piece in that butter dish. I don't need it. There you go. All right. I'm going to put them back in there. I'm going to melt this butter real quick. I got to put something on top of it though, because this will definitely fly out of here. Let me melt this up real quick. I can put it in here. This has my apples in it. That's looking good. So like I said, I'm only going to saute these for about 5 minutes. I just want to get them a little bit done. I'm going to take some applesauce that I have in here. My stepdaughter and my grandson laugh at me because they say they never know what I'm going to come up with. But it's all good. Put a little bit of this in there. Let's get a little bit of that in there. I had to turn that fan on a little bit because thank God I did put that pan underneath of those. Okay. So I put a little bit of applesauce in there to almost to make like a, so it's more like a can of apple pie filling. It's almost what it looks like actually. Then I'm going to take some brown sugar and put in there. I don't know. I'm going to say maybe about 2 tablespoons maybe. Give or take. That looks good. I'm going to say that's about 2 tablespoons. All right. Let me mix that in there. That's almost exactly what it looks like too, is it looks like the inside, the cans that you get of pie filling stuff, except for the apples are bigger. I'll show you in a minute here. I can't tell if they're I'll give it another minute or two. They are getting done though, but I don't want them done the whole way. All right, let me put this in here. And let me pour this butter over top of it. This is going to be hot. And then I can mix that up. Just something to try. I mean, you know, I try a lot of stuff. Why not try it on here? Like I said, the kids are always laughing at me because I just try these concoctions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. When they work, it's good. When they don't, it's good too. It's usually always eatable though. All right, I think that might be good. Now I'm going to take these and put these in here. See how it is? Can you see that? I'm going to put them in there, like so. I don't want to set that on my counter. Then I'm going to take these buttery, and they're buttery because I have my hand in it, and I'm going to lay them on top. These buttery rice cakes. Like I said, to be something like an apple crisp or something like that, I guess. Just something to use up those apples and those apple cinnamon rice cakes. These meatloaves are just about done. Okay. I'm going to stick this in there beside the meatloaves and hope and pray it doesn't fall out. I got a lot of stuff in that oven. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, so far, let's recap here so everybody knows. Anybody came on late? So far what I have in the oven is I have the meatloaf, which I took 2.5 pounds of ground beef. Let me move this knife before I cut myself. 2.5 pounds of ground beef. I took about a cup and a half. I have about a half a cup left there of crushed Cheez-Its. I took some Worcestershire sauce, some cowboy butter. I took a paprika, some shredded cheese. And then I'm going to, on the top, I'm going to put some barbecue sauce with some brown sugar and some mustard in it. Then I made chicken. I had some veggies somebody gave me, so I made some chicken breast. So what I did was I took carrots and green beans, cherry tomatoes, thinly sliced onion, mushrooms I had. Then I took a cream cheese, French dip that I had in the refrigerator, and a little bit of heavy cream and some chives, and I mixed that together to put on the top of it. But I did put a little bit of olive oil. I sprinkled a little bit of olive oil in there. Oh, and I put some mozzarella cheese in with the dip stuff. Then I just made this concoction. I call it an apple rice cake, apple crisp. I took the bag of apple rice cakes, cinnamon rice cakes, and I took some apples and I diced them up with some applesauce in and some melted butter, and then I put some brown sugar in it and some cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg. So I put that in the oven too. I took the Rice Crisps and I put a little bit of butter. I melted butter and put on with them. So I put the apples on the bottom and then I put the butter on the apple Rice Crisps. That's a lot to say. On the top. Oh Lord, that's a lot to say. Okay. So now I'm going to make a barbecue sauce for this meatloaf. Or I'm going to say doctor it up, maybe you should say. So I'm going to take barbecue sauce, mustard, some brown sugar, and I'm going to put a little bit of Heinz 57 in with it too. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know, I have 2 of them. So I might want to... I don't know how much you use. I guess maybe about a cup. I'll do a cup. Just unsure about how much to use of that. Let me get one of these cups. I'll use this. I'll do a cup. This is a half cup, so I'll have to do it twice. Because that's been in for about 40 minutes already. No, about 35 minutes, I would say. Let me take some of this. My arms aren't long enough. Let me take this barbecue sauce. I wrote down what I wanted to do. Where's the... Let me put about 1.5 tablespoons of this in, I guess. Of this mustard. There's a tablespoon. I'll do about 1.5 tablespoons of that, I guess. Okay, about 1.5 tablespoons of this, and we'll put in there. That's good. Close enough. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about a tablespoon of this Heinz 57 in there. Close to it, maybe not exact. Give it a little bit of kick. Let me put this stuff back, and then I'll put some brown sugar in there. And then we'll put it on top. Brown sugar's over here. All right, let me get this. Let me mix this up real quick. I mean, you could put ketchup on it. I'm just trying to do something different. Call me different. Okay, give me this. I need the, darn it. I need the brown sugar. Let's get that on there. I don't know, about 3 tablespoons maybe. There's 1, 2. Close enough. 3. That's close. Okay. 3 tablespoons. I don't like to leave my sugar sitting out. I'm afraid you'll get ants. All right, let me mix that up. Okay, very good. All right, there's that. I'm going to put it on top of this meatloaf. I think I'll brush it on top. Where's my, there we go. Let's get these on the meatloaf here. It's kind of heavy, so yeah, I'll just do it like that. That'll work. Instead of brushing it on top. Because the rack's heavy because I have this in there and then I have that rice cake stuff in there. So, all right. I think that's good. Okay. I'll hold on to this in case we might need it. I doubt it. But you never know. Okay. Put that back in. For about another 10 minutes. I'll keep an eye on it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to saute up, which shouldn't put all the onion in there. I'm going to saute up, I'm going to turn these potatoes on for one thing, because they take about half an hour to get done. It's just potatoes. I already did them. They're the potatoes cut, regular potatoes, and then I put some salt in with them. I'm going to take this and I'm going to saute up some onion, which means I need another onion, not a big one now. All right. I'm going to saute up a little bit of onion. Oh, and I could have used that butter for that. And there's mushrooms to put in with the rice, which is going to be for the chicken. Let me get this off of here. All right. That just has green onion in it. That'll be fine. So let me put this in here. Like I said, I'm going to saute them mushrooms up with it. I'm just going to do a raw chop on these because I'm going to saute them, so it's not a big deal to me. I like rice. I don't eat it all that. When I was having dental work done, it's all about all I could eat was rice and mashed potatoes, and I still tend to come back to them. So we're going to turn this on and saute these up. And then I'm going to put these mushrooms in there also. They'll wilt down a little bit. I need to have that butter back that I put in here. I got to take it back. I knew I needed it for something. All right, let's saute these up. I have to get this meatloaf out here in a short minute, and I have to have something laying down to put it on because I can't go on my counter. I'll put this down. I can't have it against my counter. It'll burn my counter. Okay. It's still good. It smells good too, actually. As soon as I get that out, I'm going to put the chicken on the top and take the cap off of it. I don't use this burner over here very often. I usually use that big one. But I have all these mushrooms, so I figure I might as well put it in with my rice. Why not? Put a little bit of garlic parmesan in there. Because I think I might put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in my rice. All right, the potatoes are on. I have to make my gravy yet. As soon as this is done, I'll make my gravy. So now we're going to have to make our gravy yet. I have these green onions I don't know what to do with. I might figure something out with them. If not, so be it. I can put them back in the refrigerator, I guess. Here it goes. It's starting to fry up now. I want to get this done because I'm going to take these out and I'm going to put my rice in here. Well, I got the instant rice this time. We picked up the wrong thing, but I'm not going to waste it. So I'll just use that. Let me check on the chicken. I throw everything around, don't know where I throw it. Piece of my nail came off. Okay. Let me get a fork. I want to see how these carrots are doing. I better put the cap back on that.
Actually, I'm going to take these meatloafs out. I'm going to put that on the top. That chicken.
We got to let these meatloafs rest a little bit.
I'm going to put this apple crisp down on the bottom. I'm going to stick this on the top, and then I'll put the cap back on it. And I think I'll turn this up a little bit. All right, there's a cap back on that. Let's shut that back up.
Oh, sugar. Yeah, this cooked down a lot, so. Okay. So I'm going to take those and take them out of that pan. I'll just put them in one of these containers. We'll put it in here for now because I got to use this pan for my, well, I'm going to use this pan for my rice. Like I said, we accidentally got, if I don't get them all out, that's fine. We accidentally got minute rice instead of regular rice. I have some chicken broth in here that needs to be used up. I think I'll make 2 cups of rice, which means I need 2 cups of broth. You know what? Very challenging, these cupboards for short people. When I first got them, I couldn't get nothing. I'm going to use that instead of this brown gravy. I think that'll be okay. All right. I'm going to use this vegetable broth because I can use that for the, I can use that for the, that's it, for the gravy. Because I'll put some beef bouillon in it. I gotta let that boil. Come to a boil. Let me get this open. All right, I need 2 cups of this. Okay, that should be good. All right, and the rest of that I'll just leave in this bag. Thank God I only got a small box of this, huh? Alrighty. The potatoes are boiling, so they'll soon be done. I'm going to go on to my gravy next. Put this over here. I don't need that. I just use that to get that broth down. These are the potatoes. They're moving right along. I got to get a lid for that. That's why I'm using this pot, because it has the lid to it. So does that one, but that one has potatoes in it. Okay. That meatloaf looks pretty good. I wonder if I can get any of that scraps out of there for the gravy. Let me see if I can get a little bit of this for the gravy. If it has a little bit of barbecue sauce in it, it's not going to be no biggie. How much did I say I need for my gravy? 2 tablespoons. That should be about right. Let me take one more little. Okay. Alrighty. That should be about 2 tablespoons. Oh, Steve, I need the flour, please. Oh, I turned this off. Shit. They look good, huh? Yeah, I don't need a lot. No, yeah, you can put it back up later. Thank you. I'll just leave it in here for now. I turned this stove off. I turned my stove off so that had my water on it for my rice. Because luckily it works out because I got instant rice. So I can I can take it off the thing anyways because I want to get that gravy done. Oh my, look at that. Let that go. Alrighty. That looks pretty good. It's a lot of apples in it, but I do have a rack that I could get out. Try a piece of this while I'm waiting. That's good. I'm not big on meatloaf, but that's really good. Could have swore I had a rack. There it is. As soon as that dries off, I'm going to put parchment paper on this and put that. No, I'm just going to put it on there. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to get that all dirty. I'm going to clean it. Come on. Potatoes will be done before this rice. All right. Yeah, the potatoes are almost done. Come on, rice. Cook. Also, what I do is in my potatoes, I started putting a little bit of dried ranch dressing in it, and ever since then I really like it. So I'm gonna put some more in it today. I just get the dried ranch gravy. I mean the packet stuff, but I get it in the, and I just put some in there. I just eyeball it. I just take as much. Sometimes we put garlic in it. And I use canned milk for the potatoes. I always use evaporated milk. I don't use, always evaporated milk. I don't use the regular milk. Oh, there you go. Okay, good. All right, so take this off. Put this in. Okay. Stir that up. All right, put this cap on it and let that go. Now, my little pot, I'm going to take this, I put some of the scrapings from that in there. I'm going to take and put 2 tablespoons of flour and then a cup and a half of this vegetable broth. But in the vegetable broth, I'm going to put a little bit of I got to get a whisk. I'm going to put a little bit of beef. Well, I might just put it in here. I have some bouillon, but it's powdered. It's not. I'm going to put a little bit of that in there with it. I like to let this flour go for a minute or two so it gets that that floury taste out of it. I'm just going to throw a little bit of this. This is just beef bouillon powder. And when I put this in, I got to do this slowly so it doesn't. That should be pretty much all of this, huh? Okay. Yeah, I got to do this slowly when I do this so it doesn't clump up. With that flour in there. So I just do it real slow till I get all that mixed in. So that way you don't have clumpy gravy. You can even put a touch of heavy cream in it, which I might do. It makes it creamier. So we're just about done here. Let me put the rest of this in. I'm going to put just a little bit of heavy cream in there. I just want to give it a little bit of a creaminess. Just a splash. So in this I put the meatloaf scrapings. You could use 2 tablespoons of butter if you can't use the scrapings. I put 2 tablespoons of flour. I left that go until, for like a minute. Then I put some of this beef bouillon powder in it. And then I'm using vegetable broth because I'm not getting another broth out. So I'm just going to use the vegetable broth, which is fine. So then you got to let this go till these potatoes are about done. You got to let it go. You got to whisk it, but you got to leave it go until I'm going to put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in there, just a dab. You got to let it go. It'll start getting thick and silky. Lose my words here. 2 or 3 minutes. You got to watch it. I got it on a smaller. I'm going to take this off so I can put it on there if I want. I keep on losing my mitts. I'm going to put these potatoes and get the water off of them. This thing does have a lid to it that drains, but I seem to burn myself every time I use it. So I tend not to use it too much. I just got to keep my eye on this gravy. All right, they're drained. I'm going to put them in there. And I'm going to take the rest of them and put them in there. Okay. Alrighty, there's the potatoes. Now, there's that. Okay, I got to bring that in here, but I got to watch this real quick. Yeah, this is getting thick. I'll show you the gravy then. So let me get my... I got to move this up because I got short arms and I can't reach it, but I didn't want it in my way while I was with you. I didn't know. So all I got in there is the butter and that ranch dressing, that powdered ranch. I'm going to turn this on slow so that the potatoes get all mixed up. I don't turn it on fast because if you do, you're going to have one heck of a mess. It's going to spit up all over the place. I let it go for a couple minutes. Then that's the only way we eat potatoes is if they're homemade mashed potatoes. Well, Steve sometimes gets them in the deli section, but all right. So then you scrape the sides down, and then you gradually start adding in milk. This is 5 pounds of potatoes, so it should take quite a much of this milk. Those potatoes were on for about a half an hour. Then you can turn it up. Let me check this. We're going to pour a little bit of vegetable broth over that because that's not really melting at all. Then I turn it back off again and I push it down and I get potatoes all over the place. Then I put more milk in it. And like I said, I gradually keep on adding milk. Let me get a plate and some parchment paper. And the big spatula. The only thing with making this like this, it gets kind of challenging sometimes getting it out of the when I use these, because these are flimsy. That one went pretty good though. I want to get them out so that grease drains off of them. There's your meatloaf. Holly, you wanted meatloaf, you got meatloaf. Let me throw them in the sink. Alrighty then. So here's the meatloaf. I'm going to make a plate up in a minute here. Just let me get these potatoes done. I don't like my potatoes real thin. Some people do. I don't. Because if you make them too thin, when you go to reheat them, like in the microwave or whatever, they have a habit of breaking down. But that's entirely up to you. And this is all it is. I'll pull that chicken out here in a few minutes and show you that. Like I said, this is 5 pounds of potatoes, so I should use most of this can. I don't like to put it all in at one time because it depends on how soft the potatoes are. Sometimes it doesn't take as much milk. I think sometimes it depends on the potatoes itself, too, to be frankly honest with you. All right, the rice should be done. It is. I'm going to put this back in it. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to put that cap back on it for now. Just going to take a taste and make sure it's done. That's good. It's good if you like that rice is good if you like onions and mushrooms. If you don't, then I just bang my beater to get all that off of there. Like so. Put it in here, and I right away get my water hot and put it in this pot. Some Dawn with some water in it, so that stuff comes off. I'll plate this up here in a minute. Let me pull the cap off of that. Oh, I did. Okay. I can smell that French onion. Like I said, I'm not a big carrot person, but I'll try one to make sure it's done. So. Okay. Now, let me move this out the way. Move this out the way. I got a little bit of this grease on my floor, and I got to get that up. There's this. I don't want anybody falling. Alrighty. Let's get this all plated up for you now. I know it's like I'm talking to myself. I feel like I'm always talking to myself when I'm doing this. But that's okay. Whoever watches, watches. Who don't, don't. All right, we're going to plate this up. And I'm also going to plate up a chicken one so you can see it. Even though we're not going to eat that tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. And I'm going to transport it over there. To the other one. Get it off this parchment paper. That's a lot of meatloaf. Okay. I'm just running out of hands and room. I put the parchment paper on there so it doesn't leak through. All right. So now let's get this ready for you. I'm going to take some meatloaf. Look how tender, that juicy that is. It's so juicy, it's falling apart. All right. There's that. Here's the homemade mashed potatoes. And here's the gravy. Wanted to make sure that wasn't hot. I didn't want to burn my hand. All right, let me push this back. That thing's heavy. All right. So here's one of them. Here's Holly, what she wanted. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. I'll try a little piece of it. There's the gravy. I don't like a lot of gravy. Some people do. I put mine together. That's really good. Alrighty. Next, I'm going to put the rice in the... I'm going to put the rice in the... Let me move this out the way. This is cooled down now. The rice, as soon as I find my gloves again. Oh. The rice and the chicken, I'm going to put on another plate. I'm going to take a spoon and mix this up a little. Okay. And here is this is the rice with veggies and chicken. Them tomatoes, are soft. They'll go good with that rice. Let me get some rice. Pretty soon I'll have every spoon used up. There's your potatoes. Your rice and chicken. Right there. I guess you can see it. So there's two of them. Let me get this up. And then I'll show you this apple crisp. I want to try that. That one I do want to try. Alrighty. I'm going to put them right there so you can see them. Right there you go. Get all that off of here. I don't need to cover this all up. And then I'll recap it too. So let me get a little bowl or something, put some of that in. I'm just going to get this little thing because we didn't have supper yet, so I don't want to. I'll bring Steve out to try this. Steve, can you come try this for me? Please. Here's the apples with the rice cakes. Steve's going to try it. It's just apples with them rice cakes. Them apple cinnamon rice cakes. You might want to stand over there where they can see you. See, you'll be able to see when they can see you. See, you can see the computer over there.
Oh.
All right. Is that good? All right.
We'll have some more.
Well, you can have it all. It ain't time for supper yet. Not quite. All right. So he said that was good. I want to try a little piece. Now he said that was good. There's a way to make some rice cakes if you get rice cakes and you don't know what to do with them. And the apples are done. That is really good. All right. So there you go. You have your apple with rice cakes, crushed up. You have your meatloaf and mashed potatoes here. And then you have your rice with your chicken and your cheese sauce and some green beans and some onion and some mushrooms right there. Put a little bit more gravy on that. I was a little skimpy. So we'll start with I'll do it one more time. I'll tell everybody. Okay, so the meatloaf and mashed potatoes. It's 2.5 pounds of ground beef. I used 1.5 cups of crushed Cheez-Its, 3 eggs, about 1/2 cup of milk, 1.5 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder, some onion diced, teaspoon of smoked paprika, and I put some shredded cheese in it. About 2 cups I put in it. Then for the topping, I used a barbecue sauce. I added brown sugar mustard to it. And then I put it on top the last 10 minutes. I baked it at 375 for roughly about 55 minutes. If you do them in the little loaf pans, they're faster and they're juicier, as you can see there. If you do them in the big pan and make a loaf, it takes longer and it dries out more because you're leaving it in longer. I noticed that. Okay, and don't overmix it. Whatever you do, that makes it really dense. Then next we have the brown instant rice mushrooms. Rice with the mushrooms. And then we have the chicken with the cheese sauce and some green beans, onions, mushrooms, carrots. So in there I took where's that one at? Right here. Creamy French onion, I called it, with veggies. I took 2 to 3. It says chicken breast. I use chicken. I use my chicken thighs, and I put on here 2 to 3 chicken breasts or 5 to 6 thighs. I use 6 thighs. 1 cup of carrots, 1 cup of green beans, 1 cup of cherry tomatoes, 1 onion thinly sliced. I use 2 because I like onion. About 2 cups of mushrooms. Then I took 4 ounces of the chive cream cheese, and I took container, the smaller the cup container of the French onion dip, and I actually added some extra chives I had up in the cupboard. I put some olive oil on top of it. I mixed all the cream cheeses together with some mozzarella cheese, and I laid that on top of it. So there's that one. Then I made this one. I just called it apple rice cake, apple crisp baked. I used the bag of rice cakes I had. You can use 6, I would say probably around 6 rice cakes. If you don't have that, you can get apple rice cakes regular. 2 cups of sauteed diced apples. I had 3 apples. I just put them in there. 1/2 cup to 1 cup of applesauce, 3 tablespoons of butter, and 1/4 cup brown sugar and some cinnamon. And I also put some nutmeg in it. So that would went on 350 for... I put the sauteed apples on the bottom, and I took the rice cakes and melted some butter and put on top of it, and I put it in the oven for 350 for about 1/2 hour. I did saute the apples, and when I sauteed the apples, I put some butter I put some brown sugar and cinnamon after it was done, and a little bit of applesauce in it. And I sauteed it for about 5 minutes. It don't have to be completely done because you're putting it in the oven. So you just want to get it ready. And then I had minute rice, so that's what I used. And I put some sauteed mushrooms and onions in it for the chicken. And then I made my gravy, a brown gravy. So I took 2 tablespoons of butter. I took the drippings out. You can use the butter or the drippings out of your meat. I took the drippings out of the meat, which I like better. And I took 2 tablespoons of flour, and I whisked that together to make a paste. And I left it, I kept on whisking it for about a minute. Then I threw a little bit of the beef bouillon, but I got the powder. So I put a little bit of that on top of it, mixed that up. Then I put 1.5 cups of beef broth in there. Well, I use vegetable, but you can use either. And you can season it with onion powder, garlic powder, whatever you want. I put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in it, and I put a splash of heavy cream in just to make it light brown color. And there's what we have for today. I will not be here tomorrow, but I will try to come back on Monday. Somebody said the food you make always looks good, and they like my video. Thank you very much, and I'm glad you think the food looks good. I love to cook, so it is a passion I have. So thank you, and I hope everybody has a blessed day. Good night now.